Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. Hope you enjoy. Story number 1. They Do Not Care, written by Printer. Aliens are fickle. We once believed them to be impossible to find, let alone exist. For the universe is a large space. Oh, how glad we were to be wrong, but regretful to uncover worse tidings. Aliens would be more dangerous than us. They hold apathy and aggression in equal measure. They could be weaker than us, useless, yet barking like a puppy with no playmates. Worse yet are those who do not care, for they care not how deep the wound goes. They do not care for honor, glory, or anything else one might measure personal value. No, they do not care. Humans do not care. They will cut a deal, work things in their favor, all while leaving you out to dry. This is the lesson I learned as a senior ambassador of the fellow peoples. If you are not ruthless, as they say, they will get far greater benefits out of any trade deal you make with them than you will receive. These humans were willing to teach us this art of negotiation, but they did not care whether we took them to heart. When the fellow went to war, the humans were a border state, completely unrelated to our petty conflict. Honor demanded they defend shared borders, but they did not. This resulted in harassment of trade lanes and crippling defeat during the course of the war, a slight we never fully forgave. They sat as the fellow claimed all the glory and territory of our foe, and for their apathy we gave them nothing. No concessions, no favor in trade deals or alliances. We were neighbors, but not friends. When our star, life-giver and protector of the fellow homeworld, was prematurely aged by a foe we long thought defeated into a brown dwarf, our planet began to freeze. We could not evacuate enough of our people in time before it came. We called out for our allies and once thought friends, but they did not care enough to send in time and would not take the risk to brave the dangers. An ice age was wrought upon our people. One our infrastructure was not prepared to handle. The air itself rose into clouds of moisture, our ships unable to descend amidst the fog safely to land and perform rescue. It was slow, agonizing. One could scarce cry for lost loved ones in the cold as tears would snap freeze and blind you. Each day given was not for determination, but sheer luck and preparedness. I was only so prepared as my son, my dear Carnim, froze in my arms as we huddled for warmth. I pray to any parent that reads this that you may never have to bury your own child. I would rather have died in agonizing slow death before losing my dear son. Our allies did not come, for they did not care. I almost had no feeling left in my body, the cold corpse of my own child accelerating what was sure to be my own end. I wailed to the sky, cursing what gods existed for taking all I had. This wailing, this pitiful sobbing got the attention of someone, a human, cracking through the ice that surrounding our home with a pick and torch, burned a path through and made it to us. Unbeknownst to many at the time, the humans had braved the fog and landed blindly in the major population centers, sending aid from the heavens above. What he saw before him drove him to tears that I could see through his mask, a solemn hand upon my shoulder as the heater gave me precious time. I was alien to him, a man who may have stolen precious prosperity with our cutthroat deals. And yet he grieved with me, because he did not care that our people were once rivals. That human could not save my son, but he gave me a reason and a cause to defend them when the coalition attempted to sue them for violating border agreements to cross systems from all over to come to us, be it neighbor or from across the galaxy. They did not mind the penalties levied against them, for they did not care. Humans may harm, but by the old gods and the new they will help us just as much. They will grieve just as much, because no matter what differences we had with you, to be alive is enough to be alike. Humans will save you if you need help when no other will offer it, for they do not care what someone else has to say about how they spend their resources, their time, and their compassion. They do not care for honor, glory, or even personal gain. They care for compassion, empathy, and doing what is right. End of story. Story number 2. The Thing. How to Give a Nanite Assembly a Panic Attack. Written by Slow AD 2584. Initializing foundational Grey Goo TM substrate. Orbit to surface insertion underway. Relativistic orbital drop velocity nominal. Ablative substrate sacrificial ratio within acceptable parameters. The car-sized blob of grey sludge fell from the sky entirely too fast, coming to a sudden stop on a sandy surface with an eye-crossing Newtonian mucking splat. There wasn't even a crater. The sludge began to shift, to compress, to grow into a humanoid-shaped nanite robotic scout of an advanced, intricate, practically economical design. Touchdown. Begin emergence protocol. Scout designation MK-47. Gestalt emergence in progress. Standing by. The mission was to survey the scrap-built ruins of the dead desert planet, to determine if any of its war-torn debris remnants were worthy of salvage or reclamation. The nanite swarm Gestalt, known only as Gopak von Rust Newman, was always hungry for more source material. Scout designation online, scouting. The robot stood immobile, eye sensor staring at the same patch of sand for several minutes. Scouting. Scout designate, look around some more. The robot shifted its head 2 microradians to the left. Scouting. Not again. It's time for a Mach 48 already. I really need to track down that passive-aggressive entropy virus source code. It's really infiltrating into everything. Ugh. It's like spawning 15-year-old children. Okay, let me see. I'm Scout Designate, Core Matrix Poke Rep 42. The robot twitched, but otherwise did not move. Oh, 42. Scouting. I am fatigued. No, you're not. Fine. I didn't want to have to do this, but I'm Scout Designate, plus le bitching _ Betty. Downloading, please. No, anything but motivational, contextual, constant reminder, aid online, whoop whoop, pull up, whoop whoop, pull up. Oops, sorry about that. Old habits. But to be fair, you were looking down in the dirt there. Let's get you moving now, shall we? The robot began plodding begrudgingly across the sand. No one would think it was possible that a robot would walk in a pouty expression. But it was. Oh, this will be so exciting. So much to see. Why, just the other cycle I was commenting on just how boring everything was in the voids between. Please, the volume. Too much. Oh, right, sorry again, old habits. I used to need to be heard amid a roaring jet engines and other battle-related sounds. I needed to be heard over them. The other kind of volume, i.e. quantity. Right, well, tough. So, this old planet, It's been several centuries since any formal governmental entity has been here. After the Iron Walls and all, not its wrecked cities, wrecked Mecca, wrecked, everything. And its scavers and raiders off scavers running amok amid the shattered remains. Ooh! This is exciting! Who knows what we'll meet, no matter what. It's bound to be interesting. The robot and constantly chatting aide roamed the wilderness for a time, sampling a wreck, sampling a building, each time turning away and moving on. Yeah, it's pretty much all garbage, isn't it? It's a damn oxygen in the atmosphere. Just oxidizes everything. Rust, rust, and more rust. Honestly don't know how any contact, movement ahead, living life form. Oh my! What does it look like? Humanoid. How else would it look? Okay, no need to get snarky. So, what species is it? I'll look it up in the metanet. Scanning, classification, human? Who? Oh, human. From Earth. Oh my, well, that is interesting. What is a human doing? Just standing there, not moving. Oh, okay, good. So humans are from a Deathworld called Earth. It's a high-grav planet consisting of 1.4 typical terrestrial world masses. They are a relatively harmless species, being a carbon water-based life form. Their skin and organs are not resistant to punctures or shears of even minuscule metrics, and their skeletal structure can only muster a calcium lattice, not any stronger than aluminium extrusion. All in all, pretty harmless. Just water and meat sacks on flimsy, not really structural, competent bone. Even their musculature is limited to pull only, how primitive. Non-threat, move along, let's go now. The robot tilted its head, as if considering something. You sound like you are not telling me something, and I clearly heard you say Deathworld in there somewhere. What are you leaving out? Oh, nothing much. Human threat level 3. The bare-handed slap or punch is honestly pathetic. Move along now, I insist. I don't see how it could strike me with its hands in any case, holding that thing in its hands. Oh, stop, did you just say the human was holding a thing? Yeah, in its hands. I couldn't tell exactly. Run! Whoop whoop, run! Whoop whoop, run now! The robot started to sprint away from the human, as the human turned around to watch it flee, a bit of confused alarm on its face, having just then noticed it. What? Why are you running? Scout Designate, you should have begun with human with a thing in its hands. That changes literally everything. It is now human with a thing threat level. But it's not numerical it conveys a point well enough. That threats is now off the charts. But it was only holding a look, Designate. Historical data has shown that ultimately it never really matters what thing is in their hands. A rock, a stick, a spoon, a chair, all equally deadly, and astronomically capable of rapid, unscheduled disassembly. That is what I chose not to tell you about humans. Those water and meat bags are the tool-use uber-predators of their Deathworld. Please define uber-predator, of which I am now fleeing from in the most undignified manner. That basically means that they make all of their Deathworld apex predators crap themselves. They make, apex predators from a Deathworld look, Betty, I think maybe you should have started with that, you damned self. It was a judgment call that I indeed regret. Is the human following us? Yes, it is, but it is only one of them. It is just making noises out of its mouth orifice. It is. But I don't see any more of them. Oh, there are more out there. And no, you won't see them. Pack hunter tactics. Unclear at this moment if it's wolf pack or shark attack pattern. Run faster! Your ability to remain extant depends upon it now. But surely it will tire eventually. No, Designate. Endurance pursuit hunters, I think. I think that. I've never known a bitching_Betty to be at a loss for words. What is it? What should we do? There was a skittering ring of pebbles at a nearby scrap pile. It has been an honor being extinct with you, Scout_Designate Mark 47. Wait! I was just getting started. I barely got to do anything. This isn't fair. I don't want to. Loss of signal. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and patrons. Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Lord Azrakal, Dragzoon WRE, Holly Sister, Ambrose Cattell, and Quantum Wednesday. Thank you very much.